Hi guys, and welcome to the curious mystery of the Great Stone of Fourstones. You will note that I put great emphasis on the words great and four stones there. And that is a cue for you to focus those YouTube attention spans, because that's going to become important later on as we try to unpick this mystery. Known more practically locally as Big Stone for obvious reasons, this is a glacial erratic, out of context, dropped here by the ice between 10 to 15,000 years ago. So the Fairies are obviously adopted to mark the county boundary. That fence line over there is, to this day, the boundary between North Yorkshire and Lancashire, West Riding of Yorkshire and Lancashire as was. There are views that it was a tribal meeting place, and I think we can understand that. That's quite seductive. It's a barren landscape. What a great pointer in that landscape for people to meet at. But we don't really know anything about it and how it was used. You will note that we have these 14 steps carved into the side of the Big Stone, the Great Stone, and no one knows exactly when that was done. But volume 21 of the Lancashire Transactions of the Lancashire and Cheshire Antiquarian Society does reference them. So that was 1904, so we know they were there then. There's actually a lot of references to the Great Stone of Fourstones through journals going back to 1793. It appears on Carey's New and Correct Atlas of England. We can see it's a great stone, but part of our mystery is where are the other three, the Great Stone of Fourstones? And that's part of what we're going to try and find out today. See if we can add anything to that debate, because there is just this one stone here. The other three are long gone. There are also references to some cup and ring style marks up on top of the stone. So without further ado, let's go and take a look to them. Now, it is really hard to find anything that might be a Neolithic, Iron Age, Bronze Age sort of carving up here, because there really is just so much graffiti. But here at the, what would be the southern end, I think we have possibly got the marks that are referred to in journals from the 1800s. And then we do have some more ring marks, if that's what they are, here at the northern end, although very faint. I think it's safe to assume, I don't think it's a wild fantasy to assume that this prominent marker in this bleak landscape would have been used by Neolithic, Bronze Age, Iron Age people, and really everybody that has come along since. As you can see from all this graffiti, it is still very popular with tykes today. And if you look over here, you can see a series of what are probably prehistoric trackways passing to the west of the Great Stone. And then if we drop down off of the stone again and come with me round here, there's something else interesting to see. If we come round here to this side, we can see that there are some even older steps carved into this side of the rock. There. I'm walking along this county boundary, and you can see behind me how the Big Stone sits just inside on the North Yorkshire side of things. Now, one of the views is that the missing three stones were close to it, were similarly sized, also possibly glacial erratics that were later smashed up to create sieve stones. But we're now off to see if we can find a possible contender for one of the missing stones, and it's a good time to leave because the public keep turning up. As we come up and reach this later road that has subsequently bypassed those ancient trackways we saw, we've got this really ancient old marker post delineating the boundary between Bentham and Tatham on this county boundary. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before there are YouTube channels of vloggers visiting the amazing places that we take you to here on WC21 UK Productions Limited. If you try to visit this one, then a word of warning. Don't carry on that alluring and simple looking track that we just saw by the fence line, because although it's the right direction of where we're trying to go to find this potential contender for one of the other missing stones, it is a devilish bog. It's like something from The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. What you want to do is head on out into the moor a bit, like what I'm doing here, onto the slightly higher ground. Another thing to be careful about when you're out here is these grouse butts that are concealed all over the moor. If you come at them from a certain angle from that side, you can fall down them. So not that that's ever happened to me, but just watch yourself with that one. And whilst we battle on through this difficult terrain, I just wanted to pick up on last week's vlog, where we extended a very generous offer to the beleaguered Philip Schofield. Unfortunately, we've heard nothing from him. So in a week where things have gone from bad to worse for him, he has declined to engage with our people. However, we have been approached by Eamon Holmes, who is very keen to join the channel. We're not committing to anything at this stage because his content suggestions all seem to centre on really slagging Schofield off, which we've tried to explain is not really the nature of this channel. We are working on an idea for him. I think it would be fantastic, but we've just got to get him to give up on this seeming Schofield obsession that he has. We've managed to pick up this sort of track here, and I don't know if you can see, there is that fence line, and that's what we're following. You can always tell when the vlogger has got to their destination on these sort of vlogs because suddenly they lose their backpack. They've obviously stopped and set everything up. So I don't think there ever were 4 great big stones. I think the Great Stone was called the Great Stone because it was the big one. I think there were 3 other stones that were used to mark some sort of boundary. 2 of them possibly have gone, but I think this is one of them. Let me introduce you to the Queen of Fairies chair. Marked on the Ordnance Survey map as the Queen of Fairies chair. Some commentators call it the Queen of the Fairies chair. You can see it behind me here, and if I just go over there, you'll see the fence. So you know that along there on the right hand side is the Great Stone of Fourstones, and here we have the Queen of Fairies chair, and that's how it works. The fairy sits on there, so I'll sit there like a fairy. I don't know what you think, but I don't see Queen of Fairies chair being the sort of name anyone would have given this feature at any time in the last 200 or 300 years. Okay, I know we had Clever Clogs Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who we cleverly referenced earlier to put that idea in your mind. He believed in fairies, didn't he, and got mugged off with a really naff fake picture. But that aside, I think this is a feature that has been named by a far older people. It's got a mythical sense to it, hasn't it? Some sort of belief system that looked at this strangely shaped stone and decided that it was a chair for a fairy. It is bang on this line that we have here that's now the county boundary. So the Great Stone is just over there on the North Yorkshire side. This is on the Lancashire side. So whatever they were marking out, maybe a territory of some kind, it serves a perfect purpose lined with the Great Stone there. Let's summarise then as we climb on top of this grouse butt. And for those of you of a southern persuasion, these are all over the moors round here, and the very wealthy landowners charge other very wealthy people large sums of money, and they come and stand in these and they spend the day shooting at specially bred birds, blasting them out of the sky. In summary then, we have the Great Stone of Fourstones, massive glacial erratic, which has clearly been used over millennium by different peoples for different purposes, marking boundaries, possibly as a meeting point. The other 3 stones are believed to have been broken up and used as stone tools, implements at some stage, and have long since disappeared. However, I think in the Queen of Fairies chair, we have identified a very likely contender for one of those missing stones. I hope you've enjoyed the first edition of the Compendium of Curiosities, a new format that enables us to cover things that don't fit into all the others. We've gone for some quite trendy sort of drill music, which I hope you like, and maybe that will get us a younger core demographic. Please make sure you like and subscribe and help the growth of the channel. Click the notifications to make sure you don't miss out. Jesus!